Joining me now is the only member of the United States Congress who is also a meteorologist, Representative Eric Sorensen of Illinois. Representative Sorensen, thank you for joining me tonight. I wonder, both as a U.S. congressman and a meteorologist, what you make of the absolutely paranoid, baseless, insane conspiracy theories that the government can control the weather.
It's amazing, Alex. It's good to be with you. First things first, I'm thinking about the folks that are in harm's way in Florida today and tonight, as it is night. The hurricane has made a landfall, and now these are the most dangerous times for people. But look, we have to make sure that we have a country where we look up to the smartest people, the meteorologists at the National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service, because it is essential that these remain the authority on such life-threatening events, that they don't get pushed aside and force people to make poor decisions. And it is unconscionable to me, who worked as a meteorologist on broadcast television for 22 years, that now we actually have elected leaders that are not just leading Americans astray, they're leading their own constituents astray.
Yeah, it reminds me, I mean, I know my colleague Chris Hayes was talking about this too, of the COVID pandemic, when at the service of a political agenda, an anti-vax, anti-science agenda, Republicans dissuaded their supporters, their allies, their voters from getting life-saving COVID vaccines. Again, putting politics above humanity. And here you have politicians, once again, trying to champion a political agenda over the safety of their own constituents. I mean, I got to bring up the fact, Congressman, that if Trump is reelected, part of the plan here, as outlined in Project 2025, is to dismantle NOAA and to privatize the National Weather Service. Just as a meteorologist, what does that mean to you?
Well, I serve on the Space Science and Technology Committee in Congress, where we've got some of the brightest minds working at NASA, working at NOAA, to make sure that we are learning more about this science than we have in the past, so that we can learn from our mistakes. But look, if these things go away, one of the things that the National Weather Service, it is so trusted for those folks, especially when we talk about Chimney Rock, or we think about the folks that are down in Bradenton, Florida tonight. They have heard from these experts on what to do. But what happens if now we have a populace that doesn't understand what to believe? That is to their point on the other side exactly what they want to do, because it's the same thing, Alex, is what you just said about the pandemic. Look, there were so many people, my own neighbors, that made poor decisions. But here's the thing. If I got mad at my neighbors, it wouldn't help solve the problem. They had bad data that was coming into this equation. It was Tucker Carlson that was giving them the bad data, and then they were making a bad conclusion. It goes over and over again, because now they're realizing on the other side that that was effective. And so now they want to do it and politicize the weather.
The one thing, I mean, it is also decided a complete moral and ethical lapse. It is also cutting off your own nose to spite your face, to undermine the sort of ability of NOAA and the National Weather Service to predict historic monster storms that affect a lot of part of the country where there happen to be Republicans, also Democrats. But, Florida's a red state. Why would you want to put the people of Florida in harm's way to a greater degree by not getting accurate data to help them predict what might be coming next? I mean, I effectively feel like defunding these agencies would do just that.
Right. Or even the fact that we left Washington, D.C. with a short-term continuing resolution with a lower projected funding amount for FEMA, knowing that Helene was going to come into Florida, Georgia. And now 2 weeks later, here we are with another catastrophic hurricane that is hitting Florida. What's next? We need Congress to do its job, and the folks at FEMA who are doing the Lord's work tonight and in the days to come, we need to make sure that they're supported. But instead, now we have these great workers, these federal workers that are being threatened because of conspiracies that are on the internet. It is this absolute destruction of the good communication that we need more people to be connected to.
Illinois Congressman and the only meteorologist in the House of Representatives, Eric Sorensen, thank you for your time tonight, sir. I really appreciate
Good to be
you.
with you, Alex.